One of the things I do on this program is I tell you honestly and directly when a political issue is merely a political football and has a public facing debate that is essentially meaningless. Now, one such issue that is a political football is debt and deficit. We've talked about it endlessly. Republicans claim to care about debt and deficit until a Republican is president. And then when George W. Bush blows up the deficit, when Donald Trump blows up the deficit, they say nothing. And then now they're back on it because Joe Biden is president. It's a meaningless political football. It doesn't get into the meat of when is national debt good, bad, problematic, interest on the debt, Japan, China, holders of the debt, all these different things. Doesn't get to it. It's just a meaningless political football. It's a deflated football, we could call it. Another such political football whose public debate is meaningless is gas prices. Now, if you've been listening to our podcast for a while, if you've been watching this show for some time, you know I never played into this. My position, whether the president is a Republican or a Democrat, is presidents have some, but relatively little to do with gas prices over the long term. And you can fact check me on this. Go back and check out my clips during past presidents, and you will find that I've been consistent. I don't play the gas price games, whether it's during Trump in 2018 in a clip called Gas Prices Hit 3-Year High, where I say, this has little to do with Trump. It's mostly seasonal. Or you go back to 2015 under Barack Obama in a clip called $1.99 gas returns, where I say this really doesn't have to do much with Barack Obama. There are probably about a dozen or so clips that we've done about this issue. In general, gas prices go up in the summer when demand is higher. They go down in the winter when demand is lower. In general, global supply issues rather than an American president impact gas prices. And right now, gas prices are up about 18 to 20% over the last few months. And very quickly, once again, you are starting to see the hot takes blaming Joe Biden. And the story that they are telling is Trump kept gas prices low, Joe Biden came in, and gas prices have skyrocketed. Now, neither is true in a causal way, and we're going to look at it. But some examples, the official Republican Twitter account tweeting, quote, President Biden's energy agenda will raise gas prices even higher by shutting down American energy production. That's not true. Here's Republican House Minority Leader, and it gives me great pleasure to remind you he's the minority leader, Kevin McCarthy, including gas prices in his sort of grievance list against Joe Biden just a few days ago.
Look what has happened in the short amount of time they've controlled all. Your gasoline price is up. Biden has created a crisis on the border that he won't admit.
There was also a widely shared Facebook post whose basic message was, when Sleepy Joe came in, diesel was $1.69. Today, diesel is $3.19. Thanks to all that voted for this clown. Now, the numbers are wrong in that post, but the causality is also gone. So I could go on and on with more examples, but here's the truth. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden, and it started before Joe Biden was president. First of all, gas prices move on a delay in response to oil supply issues. It's a much slower process than some Republicans want you to think right now. And in this case, we know why gas prices are up. It's the inverse reason of why they were down in 2020. The price of oil and thus gasoline collapsed in 2020 due to no demand. It costs money to store oil. And when demand for gas is down, you don't necessarily want to keep refining oil at the same clip because there's not demand for it. So you store the oil, and demand was down so much due to the pandemic, people not flying, people not commuting, cruise industry shut down, that the price of oil and gas collapsed. Now, as vaccination is rolling out, as cases are declining, as air travel is returning, as commuting is returning, demand is increasing, and it's actually in some areas increasing very quickly. So gas prices are going up globally. It's not just in the United States. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden. But then here's the cherry on top. Many Republican talking points require not understanding how time works or believing in time travel. If you look at a chart of gas or diesel prices, here's a chart of diesel prices up on the screen, you will notice the increase started in October under Donald Trump. And it simply continued during Trump's presidency in November, in December, the first 2/3 of January. Then Joe Biden took over And the gas and diesel price increase is continuing, and it is related to demand coming back as the pandemic hopefully starts to wane. Don't fall for this stuff. It'll rot your brain, as I like to say. And it's not borne out by the facts. It's not borne out by the data. It is not Joe Biden's fault that gas prices are up. And importantly, gas prices being up is a good sign that demand is returning. And hopefully, if we keep vaccinating, if we start getting vaccines to more countries more quickly, and we continue vaccinating more quickly, we will see significant economic improvements that, yes, might go with, a tank of gas costing a few dollars more for the average consumer vehicle. Today's episode is sponsored by Blue Chew, a unique online service delivering the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. And they're giving my audience an entire month's supply for free. Take a short quiz on the Blue Chew website. A licensed doctor approves your prescription, and the medication goes right to your home in a discreet package. No driving to the doctor's office, having a possibly awkward conversation, waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew replaces the entire process with a few clicks and way less expensive. And all of Blue Chew's tablets are made in the United States. So if you think you could benefit from an extra boost of confidence, go to bluechew.com. The link is under this video, and they'll give you an entire month's supply for free when you use promo code Pakman. Just pay $5 for shipping.